Leo Tran sat alone in the cockpit of his cargo hauler, the Wren, watching stars drift by like silent watchers. The job was simple: move processed minerals from the asteroid belt to a trade station in the Orion sector. It paid just enough to keep fuel in the tank and food in his belly. Nothing heroic, just another quiet run in the cold of space. Then came the signal. It cut through the static of deep space, old and distorted, but clearly a distress beacon. The kind that hadn't been used in over a century. Leo narrowed his eyes. It was coming from a dead zone, a stretch of space marked on the charts as unstable, surrounded by gravitational anomalies, and long abandoned. Ships avoided it. No traffic lanes, no settlements, nothing. He should have ignored it. Instead, he leaned forward, scanning the signal. Faint, ancient, but still active. Curiosity tugged at him. "What the hell?" he muttered, flipping the manual controls. He altered course. 2 hours later, he dropped out of hyperspace and stared at something no human or alien had seen active in over 100 years. It was massive. The Vigilant Hope. Leo had heard rumors. Everyone in the galaxy had. A ship from before the Council existed, built by the Ellerin, a species so advanced they vanished before most other races even left their planets. The ship had appeared after a supernova event and hovered in silence, waiting. Every race in the Interstellar Council had tried to claim it. None succeeded. Some said it had a mind of its own. Others believed it was cursed. Leo drifted closer. No weapons powered up, no defense shields, just silence. The ship floated like a ghost near the dying red sun. Its hull shimmered with strange energy patterns, like it was alive, breathing in the starlight. "Computer, scan for access points," Leo said. His ship's AI replied. "One docking port detected. Minimal activity. No automated defenses detected." He stared at the massive structure. "All right, let's knock on the door." Inside the airlock, Leo's boots echoed on the smooth metal floor. The lights came on one by one, guiding him inward. The walls were seamless, silver with a bluish tint. Symbols glowed faintly, ancient Ellerin writing. As he moved deeper into the ship, he expected alarms, turrets, anything. Instead, the ship seemed calm, like it was waiting. He reached what looked like the command bridge, a raised platform with a single chair at the center. Around it, displays blinked softly, unreadable symbols shifting like language on the edge of memory. Leo took a deep breath. "No one's been here in over 100 years. You gonna kick me out too?" He stepped forward. The air shimmered. The lights brightened. The chair turned toward him. And then he heard it. A voice. Soft, clear, female but not human, not mechanical either. "Welcome, Captain Leo Tran. You are accepted." Leo froze. "What? You meet the criteria." Command protocol engaged. Control granted. A console unfolded in front of him, alive with color and light. His heart pounded. This couldn't be real. Every other species had been denied. The Volari, the Kalari, the Henak. Even humans had tried before. The ship never responded. So why him? He slowly reached out and touched the panel. It responded to his movement, reshaping under his fingers, showing a star map of known space and beyond. Outside, the dying star flared, casting red light over the ship's hull. Leo didn't know it yet, but the moment he touched that panel, the entire galaxy began to shift. The news spread across the galaxy like fire through dry grass. The Vigilant Hope had accepted a captain. For over a century, no one had been able to wake the ship. Dozens of alien species had tried. Great empires had sent scholars, warriors, even psychics. All had failed. Now a human nobody, an independent cargo pilot, was sitting in the command seat. And that human was Leo Tran. Leo didn't know how many ships were watching him now, but he guessed it was more than a few. As he stood on the bridge of the Vigilant Hope, the console under his hand was still active. The lights pulsed gently, warm, like the ship was breathing. The AI spoke again, calm and clear. "Captain Leo Tran. Systems are responding. Limited control granted. Further access will require synchronization." He frowned. Synchronization, emotional, cognitive, and ethical alignment. Continued access depends on mutual trust. Leo wasn't sure how to feel about that. A ship that judged its captain's ethics. That explained why no one else had been accepted. Most of the council's leaders were politicians or warlords. Leo was just a pilot, but maybe that's what made him different. Before he could ask more, a communication alert flashed on the console. Incoming signal from the Interstellar Council. Leo hesitated. Then he answered. The screen lit up, showing a stern, gray-skinned alien with deep blue eyes and heavy gold armor. His features were sharp, bird-like. His name was Commander Threx Val of the Volari Empire. He stared at Leo like a teacher scolding a child. Human, Threx said coldly. You will immediately vacate the Vigilant Hope and prepare it for transfer to the Council's control. Your presence is unauthorized. Leo crossed his arms. I didn't break in. The ship let me in, and it's not showing any interest in transferring to anyone. Threx's nostrils flared. That ship is not yours. It is a cultural relic, and its technology is far beyond your understanding. Humans have no standing in matters of ancient Ellerin systems. Leo stayed calm. Look, I don't want a war. I'm just trying to understand why the ship chose me. It didn't choose you, Threx said with a sneer. You triggered something. A malfunction, most likely. We are sending a diplomatic retrieval team. You will hand over the vessel. The signal ended. Leo sighed and rubbed his face. Great. I wake up the biggest mystery in the galaxy, and now everyone wants it. The AI spoke again. Council forces are approaching. Scans detect 15 ships. All weapons offline, but combat potential is high. He walked slowly around the bridge, thinking he had no army, no backup. If the Volari wanted to take the ship by force, there was little he could do, but something inside the Vigilant Hope had accepted him, trusted him. Why? He opened another console. Star maps appeared, navigation charts, history logs. Some of it was still locked, written in Ellerin code, but the ship was letting him see. That meant something. He found a file labeled Captain Alignment Parameters. He opened it. Inside was a list, not of skills, not of physical traits, but of values: courage, compassion, curiosity, balance, non-aggression. These were the things the ship looked for in a leader. Leo felt a chill down his spine. No wonder it had rejected every war-hungry empire that came before. Hours passed. Leo spent the time learning what he could. The ship began responding faster, almost like it was getting to know him. Then, another alert. A shuttle is approaching. One life form. Council credentials. Leo considered ignoring it. But he needed answers, not enemies. He allowed the shuttle to dock. A tall, pale humanoid stepped onto the bridge. She wore silver robes with the Council's symbol across her chest. Her eyes were large and violet. Her voice was soft but firm. I am Envoy Morel, she said, sent to observe and mediate. You are Leo Tran. That's me, he said. She looked around the bridge with awe. This ship hasn't spoken to anyone in over a century. Well, Leo said, it's doing more than that now. I need to be clear, she said. If you stay on this ship, you are walking into a storm. The Volari believe it belongs to them. So do others. You may be putting yourself and your species in danger. Leo nodded slowly. Then help me. I don't want to fight anyone. I just want to understand why the ship picked me, and what it wants me to do. Morel looked at him carefully. Then she said, then let's start by learning together. In the shadows of space, dozens of Council ships waited and watched, and the Vigilant Hope, ancient and aware, pulsed softly beneath Leo's feet, ready to test its new captain. The Vigilant Hope was not just a ship. It was a memory, a witness, and maybe something more. Leo Tran could feel it the longer he stayed aboard. The ship was learning him, his patterns, his voice, even his moods. In return, it was revealing small pieces of its long-buried past. Leo stood on the bridge with Envoy Morel. The star maps on the console shimmered with hidden layers. The Ellerin language was slowly being translated by the ship, one phrase at a time. Symbols rearranged, changed color, and took form. Marel leaned closer to the display. "Look at this," she whispered. "These aren't just coordinates. They're fragments of a route, something ancient, possibly a map to Ellerin territory before their fall." Leo watched the lines converge into a glowing point far outside known space. "Why is it showing this to me?" he asked. Marel was silent for a moment. Then she said, "Maybe the ship is trying to finish what its creators started, and maybe it thinks you're the one to do it." Later, Leo explored the interior alone. He followed the softly lit corridors deeper into the ship. The lights adjusted to his pace. The walls occasionally shifted, almost like the ship was guiding him. He reached a chamber unlike any other. The walls were lined with black crystal, humming faintly. A pedestal rose from the floor. Atop it, a circular device hovered, glowing dimly. "Memory core active," the AI said. "Would you like to review archived data?" Leo nodded. "Yes, show me." The lights dimmed. A soft vibration ran through the floor. Then the walls lit up with images, holograms of tall, elegant beings with shimmering skin and long robes. The Ellerin, they moved like water, graceful and calm. Leo watched them speak in their own tongue. Then the translation began. "The galaxy is not ready," one Ellerin said. "Their minds are unbalanced. They build for war, not understanding. Then we must protect what we've learned," another answered. "We must lock away the archive and send the Guardian to wait. One day someone will come, not to conquer, but to connect." The images shifted again. Scenes of war, alien ships battling, cities burning, a great star collapsing in the background. "Let the Guardian judge them," a voice said. "Let it wait, let it watch, and if it finds someone worthy, only then, reveal the path." The lights faded. The chamber returned to silence. Leo stood still for a long time. The Vigilant Hope wasn't just a ship. It was a guardian, programmed to wait for someone with the right heart, not just the right hands. Back on the bridge, Marel was receiving new transmissions. "The council is divided," she told Leo. "Some want to study the ship from a distance. Others want to seize it before its secrets are lost. And Threx, he's preparing something. We intercepted a coded signal from his flagship." Leo frowned. "He's going to try something violent, isn't he?" Marel hesitated. "Yes, he's bringing in a special team, not official council units. Mercenaries." Leo nodded slowly. "Then we don't have much time." He turned to the ship. "Can you defend yourself if we're attacked?" "Affirmative," the AI said. "Defensive systems are operational. Lethal force is restricted unless overridden. Don't kill anyone unless you have to." Leo said, "I don't want to start a war." The ship hummed softly, as if acknowledging him. Hours later, the attack came. A stealth ship, cloaked in shadow, tried to breach the hull through the maintenance deck. The Vigilant Hope responded instantly. Metal shifted, forming barriers. Energy fields pushed the invaders back. Non-lethal pulses knocked them unconscious. Leo watched it happen through the internal monitors. "They never had a chance," he said quietly. The ship knew. Marel stepped beside him. "You don't understand. It's not just defending itself. It's testing you. Every choice you make, it's watching." Leo understood now. The ship didn't just want a captain. It wanted someone who could choose restraint, wisdom, and peace, even when threatened. After the intruders were expelled, the ship opened a new chamber. Inside was another map, this one more detailed. It showed a hidden sector, far beyond the reach of Council territory, a place marked simply as the Archive. The AI spoke again. "Captain, the Archive contains the final knowledge of the Ellerin. Its access is restricted until final alignment is confirmed." Leo looked at Marel. "This is what Threx is after, isn't it?" She nodded. "He'll never stop. If he gets control of the Archive, he'll use it for power." Leo stared at the map. He felt the weight of what was happening. This was bigger than him, bigger than Earth. The ship had chosen him not because he was special, but because he listened, and now it was asking him to act. "We're going," he said. "Plot a course to the archive." As the vigilant Hope prepared for the journey, the stars outside seemed to shift. The past was calling, and the galaxy was watching. The vigilant Hope glided through deep space like a shadow of history. Leo sat quietly on the bridge, eyes fixed on the glowing star map projected in front of him. The path to the archive stretched far beyond council-controlled space, beyond known sectors, into darkness. He wasn't alone. Envoy Morel stood nearby, arms crossed, watching the stars slip past. Her expression was calm but serious. "You understand what this means, don't you?" she said softly. "The moment you reach the archive, the balance of power in the galaxy will shift." Leo didn't look at her. "I'm not trying to control anything. I know, but others are." The council was in chaos. As the vigilant Hope moved through space, transmissions flooded in. Some leaders sent messages of support, others issued demands, and Threx Val, now openly defiant, had declared Leo a threat to galactic security. The Volary Empire was mobilizing. Threx's message was clear: the archive must not fall into human hands. "We will retrieve the ship by force if necessary." Leo played the message again, shaking his head. "I didn't steal anything." Morel nodded. "But you woke it up. That alone makes you dangerous to them." Leo leaned back. "Then they never understood this ship. It doesn't belong to anyone." The ship's AI continued unlocking its memory systems. Leo spent long hours studying old Illyrian logs. More holograms appeared. Scientists, philosophers, leaders, they debated what to do as war approached their worlds. "Knowledge must be protected," one said, "not for power, but for peace." "But what if those who find it use it for control?" another asked. "Then we choose the finder carefully." Leo now understood. The Illyrian didn't hide the archive out of fear. They hid it out of hope. Hope that someone one day would be ready to use it wisely. The ship wasn't just a tool. It was a test. Days later, Leo and Morel reached a quiet system near the archive's edge. The stars here were old, faint. A council ship awaited them in orbit. An emergency meeting, called by the neutral species of the inner circle. Leo and Morel boarded the station. The council chamber was cold and full of tension. Representatives of many species sat around the wide circle. Commander Threx stood near the center, in polished armor. His sharp eyes locked onto Leo the moment he entered. "So," Threx said, "this is the human who threatens our future." Leo kept his voice calm. "I don't want to threaten anyone. I just want to finish what the Illyrian started." "They gave you no right," Threx snapped. "You have no claim to their legacy." Morel stepped forward. "Commander, the ship chose him. That's fact. He didn't force his way in." The AI responded only to Leo. "That means something." Threx laughed bitterly. "The galaxy cannot trust its future to a single mind, especially not a human one." Another counselor, an elder of the Kalari species, spoke up. "Then what do you suggest, Threx?" "The ship and the archive must be placed under council protection until we can decide its proper use." Leo looked around the room. "Protection," he said, "or control?" Silence fell. Leo continued. "The Illyrian didn't lock their knowledge away to hand it to politicians or warlords. They were afraid of you. Of us. They built the ship to wait for someone who would lead with wisdom, not fear." Threx stepped forward, voice rising. "And you believe that's you?" Leo didn't flinch. "I don't know, but I am the one the ship chose, and I haven't fired a single shot, even when you attacked." "What does that tell you?" The room was still. Then Morel spoke again. "Let him reach the archive. Let the ship complete its mission. If he fails the test, the ship will shut down again. You know it will." Reluctantly, the council agreed to hold back. For now, Leo returned to the ship, mind heavy. The archive was near. The galaxy was near. The galaxy was trembling with fear and ambition. And somewhere in the dark, Threx was still planning. The AI spoke again as Leo took the captain's seat. "Coordinates confirmed. Archive in range. Do you wish to proceed?" Leo didn't hesitate. "Yes, take us in." The ship moved forward, quiet and steady. Ahead, a great station floated inside a nebula of glowing red gas. The archive, a structure the size of a moon, shaped like a spiral star. Dozens of rings rotated around its core, powered by ancient energy. The Vigilant Hope slowed as it approached. The ship's systems linked to the archive. Lights pulsed between them, like two minds greeting each other after a long silence. Leo felt it in his chest, a low vibration, like the beginning of something vast. The AI spoke one last time that night. "Captain, final judgment is near." The Vigilant Hope hovered silently before the archive. The massive structure turned slowly inside the glowing red nebula, its rings shifting like gears in a cosmic clock. Energy pulsed through its frame. This was the final vault of the Ellerin, a place lost to time now awakened by Leo Tran. Inside the ship, the lights dimmed. The air felt charged. The archive was scanning the Vigilant Hope, and the ship was responding in kind. Two ancient systems exchanging signals like old friends reunited after centuries apart. Leo stood on the bridge, watching the data flow across the main screen. Star maps, equations, genetic patterns, information poured in from the archive in bursts of light and code. "Final alignment in progress," the ship's AI said. "Archive interface requires captain approval." Leo placed his hand on the console. "Authorized connection." The ship pulsed softly. The archive responded. A long beam of light linked both vessels, a bridge of pure data. Then alarms rang out. Multiple vessels detected, the AI announced. "Incoming fleet, Volari Empire, 17 ships. Commander Threx Val leading, weapons armed." Leo's stomach turned. "They followed us." Morel stood beside him, staring at the display. "They're not here to negotiate." Leo nodded. "They're here to take the archive." Outside, the sky lit up as the Volari fleet entered orbit. Massive cruisers lined up, forming a blockade around the archive. Smaller fighters moved in formation, closing in on the Vigilant Hope. Threx's voice echoed through an open channel. "Leo Tran, you have trespassed long enough. This is your final warning. Power down your vessel and surrender. The archive belongs to the Council." Leo tapped the console. "Not the Council," he said. "Just you." Threx's voice darkened. "This knowledge is too powerful for a single mind. Hand it over, or be destroyed." The AI spoke calmly. "Defensive systems prepared. Target lock from enemy ships detected. No first strike protocol engaged." Leo turned to Morel. "Can we outrun them?" She shook her head. "Not in this nebula. Their ships are faster. They'll tear us apart before we jump." Leo took a deep breath. "Then we don't fight. Not unless we have to." He opened a new channel, not to Threx, but to the Council, to every ambassador, every leader, every species. His face appeared across hundreds of ships and stations. "This is Leo Tran," he said, voice steady. "The ship chose me not to rule, but to learn. The archive holds the legacy of a civilization that ended itself because it couldn't share its knowledge without turning it into a weapon." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "I won't let that happen again. You can fire on me. You can destroy this ship, but you'll be proving the Ellerin right, that we're still not ready. Or, you can choose a new way, one where knowledge is shared, protected, not owned." The fleet hesitated, but Threx did not. "Cut the transmission. Prepare to fire." Inside the Vigilant Hope, the walls began to glow. The ship responded to Leo's message with something unexpected. A bright beam shot from its core, not at the enemy, but at the archive. A massive hologram burst from the archive's center. A final message, recorded by the Ellerin before their fall. A calm, ancient voice echoed through every ship and station in orbit. "If you are seeing this, it means the Guardian has chosen. The archive is not a weapon, it is a promise. It contains our failures, our hopes, our truths. It will not open to those who seek power, only to those who seek unity, share, or be lost." The message faded, and the Volari fleet stopped. Ships powered down their weapons. Captains hesitated. Council members sent urgent messages back to their homeworlds, but not Threx. His ship began charging a weapon. Leo turned to the AI. "If he fires, can you stop it?" "Yes. Lethal force will be minimized." "Response authorized." Leo hesitated. He didn't want to be a killer. That wasn't the kind of captain the Vigilant Hope wanted. That wasn't the kind of leader the galaxy needed. No, do not fire unless he does first. The moment stretched. Then Threx's ship blinked. The power build-up stopped. The weapon dimmed. Another voice came through. A younger Volari officer. Commander Threx has been relieved of duty by order of the Council. This action is over. Leo closed his eyes in relief. Hours passed. The Council met again, this time with new understanding. They voted to form a new exploration division. The archive would be unlocked piece by piece, shared equally among all Council species. Leo would remain captain of the Vigilant Hope, under peaceful oversight, as the first neutral explorer of the archive's truths. Threx was arrested and removed from power. The galaxy had chosen a different path. Not conquest, not control, cooperation. As the fleet drifted away and the archive glowed quietly in the nebula, Leo sat once more in the captain's seat. The ship was quiet now, at peace. He spoke aloud, to no one and everyone. We made the right choice. The ship pulsed gently in response. The Vigilant Hope floated quietly in the red haze of the nebula, its hull reflecting the soft, shifting light of distant stars. The archive had gone silent again, but not in rejection. This time, it waited in peace. It had found what it was searching for. Leo Tran stood on the bridge, watching the stillness. The storm had passed. Threx had been taken into custody. His fleet had backed down. And now the Council was rebuilding its trust, not just in one another, but in something greater, hope. A message came in from the Council core. The hologram of Envoy Morel appeared. She stood at a large table, surrounded by representatives of many species. Leo Tran, she began, the Council has reviewed the events at the archive. Your decision to stand down, even under threat, proved your alignment with the principles the Ellerin hoped to preserve. You have passed the final test. Leo stayed quiet. He wasn't looking for praise. He just wanted to do the right thing. Morel continued. The archive will not be controlled by a single world or species. It will be protected by a new neutral division, the Ellerin Initiative. You are hereby named its first captain and explorer. Leo blinked. Me, leading the whole thing? Yes, she said with a small smile. Not because of what you know, but because of how you lead, calmly, with respect, with restraint. He glanced around the bridge. The Vigilant Hope pulsed softly, like it approved. Over the next few days, Leo and the ship began to receive new systems access. Halls opened that had remained sealed for centuries. Archive files began unlocking. The knowledge wasn't just scientific, it was cultural. Entire histories of the Ellerin people, their art, music, philosophy. It was beautiful and tragic. The Ellerin had destroyed themselves, not with weapons but with fear and division. Their greatest minds built the archive to prevent it from happening again. They wanted someone to learn from their mistakes, not repeat them. Leo spent hours reading, walking the ship's long corridors, sometimes just listening. The AI would play music from the Ellerin era, soft and strange, like wind in a forest he'd never seen. He no longer felt like a visitor. He felt like the ship accepted him completely now, not just as a captain, but as a partner. Weeks later, Leo stood before the Council in person. The meeting took place on a space station, built near the archive, where the first joint science teams had started their work. He wore a simple black flight uniform. No medals, no politics. Just a man doing his duty. The hall was full. Leaders and civilians from dozens of species watched as Leo stepped onto the central platform. He looked up and spoke. I didn't come here to lead, he said. I was a cargo hauler. I found a ship that had been sleeping for 1,000 years. It woke up not because I was strong or powerful, but because I listened. He paused. The room was quiet. The Ellerin knew what we might become. They left us a test, and we've passed the first part. But it doesn't end here. We have to keep choosing peace, choosing unity. The archive belongs to all of us. The future does too. Applause filled the chamber. Not loud, but warm, sincere. Back aboard the Vigilant Hope, Leo stood once more on the bridge. The console lit up with a new message. Captain, mission confirmed. Begin deep sector exploration. He smiled. Yes, set course for the uncharted regions. Course plotted. Departure in 60 seconds. Leo sat down, hands on the console. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel alone. He had the ship. He had a purpose. And now he had a galaxy to explore, not to conquer, but to understand. As the engines hummed to life, Leo whispered to himself, "Let's go see what's out there." The stars stretched ahead, endless and waiting. The Vigilant Hope moved forward, its hull shining against the dark.